Son of a bitch. I hate this new YouTube thing because you got to go to the damn actual website to quick go live instead of like just being able to go from the platform. So anyway, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to Sauce Sports. Y'all not familiar with Sauce Sports. Sauce Sports is Houston, Texas home network. We talking all sports only Houston. We was in this bitch fired up for just a hot second, but because of the way this new YouTube streams, I like the old shit. They be doing too much. Then it makes the stream go slower. The interaction is slower. Anyway, like I said, welcome to the conversation, man. This is the post game show. Jay Dizzle, hey, fuck rehab, buddy. You know, yeah, fuck rehab. You know.
Who on crack today, nigga? Who on crack today? I'm on crack right now. I'm ready to go.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
My nigga Watson's fucked up.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on, buddy. How you doing? You know, hey there, buddy. A little bit of crow, buddy. You know, the crow. He's here. The crow's with us. You know, the crow's in the house. And his brother, the other crow, the brother crow. We got two crows. Anyway, let's talk about it, man. We got the round join us, man. Y'all know how we gonna kick it off. We go chop it up with the round and get some of the round's perspective, and then we'll switch it up, and then I'll go one deep. We'll take some calls after about 30 minutes or something. It's a lot to talk about, man. We gonna get into all this. Trust me, we gonna get to your calls. I don't know about the text line on this. I'm still having some issues with the text line on this new line. So if you're texting and I don't get your shit, I apologize. But you can hit it on Sauce Sports HTX. You can hit the Twitter, and I'll try to address your comments if you got text message, whatever, via Twitter. We 233 deep. Hit the like button. That's all that. The like button is free. Y'all can support the channel by going to streamlabs.com/Sauce Sports. And shout out to Jay Dills for the love. And shout out to everybody who is subscribed to the Patreon and was chopping it up with us in the during the game in the Discord chat. But man, it's a lot to talk about. Okay, and I probably have some personal crow to eat. Now, I told y'all I was feeling a certain way, so I did end up picking the Texans to win this game, even though my preseason prediction was the loss. But let's see who we got joining us today, man. In the round. Who's all in the mix this afternoon, man?
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Man Up Here with Man K Sports TV. I'm finna sit back and let the man in the red handle his business.
Who else we got joining us tonight, man, or this afternoon?
What's going down H-Town? It's your boy Swisher, man. Long time no see. What's going down with you?
Already. Last but not least, man, who do we got?
Nigga, it's Third Coast Sports TV. We ready to go. We cranked up. We ready to bomb on these whole ass niggas. Fuck the team. Fuck the whole ass team. Fuck this whole ass nigga. Cranked up.
Oh.
Put this on your YouTube. Put this on your goddamn Twitter. Record this shit right now. Post it. I'm ready to go viral. Let's get it.
Well, goddamn, tell us how you really feel. Man, shout out to you, Sauce Nation, man. There's a lot of y'all in the chat. Man, make sure you can live chat. This top chat ain't where it's at, so I apologize if I missed you. I ain't diss you. Man, hey, like I said, hit that like button. Share it with your friends. Tell your people. Make sure you follow Sauce Sports on all the proper social medias. We about to go in today. This was a lot of things happened in this game that were necessary, okay? And, of course, the announcers and people in the national media are going to try to tell you, well, Mahomes, he wasn't 100% because his ankle, and Chris Jones wasn't there. We lost Roby in the game. Zach was out for a little bit. You lose Titus Howard. Right tackle is cursed on this team. You lose Titus Howard. J-Joe did not play. And in reality, just like Eric Marquez said, it shouldn't have been that Fuller left his hands in Houston. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know what was up with that, but they got smart. See, what they were trying to do too early was just trying to hit him too deep. But once they kind of got later and they started hitting him on some shorter routes and letting him, feel those catches, get that energy right. You feel me? Shout out to Mark, man. Appreciate the love with the dancing JJ. 315 deep, man, hit that like button. So once they got Fuller kind of activated and going, again, it was just, and even Hop, let's think about how many touchdown passes were dropped. Fuller had probably like 3 on his own that he should have had in his hands for touchdowns. Hop had 1 that he should have had on 100. The only thing that was missing from this game is I wanted to see a solid play made on Honey Badger, and the opportunities were there. They just didn't quite make it. But, because he was trying to bogart Kiki, but you see he hold full a little bit on one of them slams, but you see he ain't get with Hop like that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't trying to really get beastie with Hop. He got beastie with some of the other receivers, but he ain't trying to get fly with Hop like that. So like I say, man, there's a lot to talk about, so I ain't gonna hog it all, man. There's just so many good things to talk about. A couple of negatives, but we're not, in a good day when we're celebrating, we're not gonna harp on the negatives. But I give Bill O'Brien credit, calling a 98% solid game. That one play with 1 yard to go in the first half was retarded. It was fucking stupid. But shout out to B-Mac for making a play and putting us right back in position. Carlos Hyde, hell of a day. Running game had a hell of a day. Almost put up 200 yards total rushing. Just the game plan that we told y'all in the beginning of the game. Their weakness is the run the ball on them, and the Texans successfully did that and made plays in the air when necessary. So the order is looking like sipping on the Kool-Aid. Yes, tropical punch, a whole fucking pound, a whole bag of sugar. You know what I'm saying? You know how you gotta make it authentically urban style Kool-Aid. Yes, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid today because Bill O'Brien did some things that characteristically he has not done. Beat a team with a winning record. We've been waiting for that. Was it the dominant win? No, but it was a confident win because he let a team jump out on him early, came back, caught that score up, went in with a lead, and then just, some stupid things happened. We could put that more on execution of players than I will put on Bill O'Brien. Only fault I had with Bill O'Brien the whole day was that one play. And that's why I say 98%. Other than that, I'm not hating on Bill O'Brien. The order's looking like Darren, Wink, and then Man Up. So we'll start off with Darren, man. Your thoughts from this game, the good, the bad, and where do we go moving forward with this Texas team?
Well, first things first, I want to give a huge shout out to Carlos Hyde because without Carlos Hyde physically running the ball the way he was able to, we don't have those opportunities to control the time of possession. And the way him and Duke Johnson, the way they were running the ball today, it was crucial. And yeah, we knew that Kansas City, their weakness was stopping the run. But hey, you got to go out there. You a paid professional. You got to go out there and you got to suit up and boot up. So, that was one positive. Of course, guys making plays when they needed to. That's what allowed us to seal the game. The bad, I would say more the officiating, if anything. Everybody might have their own opinion on that, but there were a bunch of penalties that were missed, and it was like, okay, if this player ends up getting hurt because of this missed penalty, then what? Because it was a shot that Watson took early in the game where one of the Chiefs players ended up holding him up, and he actually kept the Chiefs from getting a penalty on that play because if Watson falls to the ground and they can, all the cameras can see that shit. If they see that Watson is taking them kind of shots and no flags are being thrown, best believe the NFL is they're gonna have to step in, and some people gonna start getting fined. So that was a concern for me. I don't really too much want to hog it all. I want to give Man Up and Wink, some time to say something because I know Wink fired up, but that's really all I got.
Yeah, Fugazi.
My fault,
Man,
y'all.
look.
I was muted. I said niggas are fugazi. Niggas is easy to show up when the times are good. Round tables here, whether it's good or bad. I'm here whether it's good or bad. Some motherfuckers lack accountability, and they can only pop their head in the window looking like a dope fiend, when things are good, when they think they're right. But when they are wrong, they go hide, and you don't see them for a while. But, sorry about that, Wayne. Go ahead. What were your thoughts on that?
Nigga, this win right here, bro, puts us in a different stratosphere as far as the caliber of opponent that we can beat. We always knew we had the talent. We always knew we could get it done. execution, game planning, and doing what the defense give you, and take all the matchups that you can win against on offense is all this team needs to do to win and win big, regardless of where they go. We played way better on the road than we played at home anyway, outside of the Falcons game. Take the Falcons game away, we haven't played well at home, not this year, but we played well on the road everywhere we went. Think about the points we just put up. 31, 27. That's 56 points right there, plus 28. What, 56? What, that's what, 84 points that we put up in away games alone. Did y'all see how phenomenal this boy was in the red zone? I gave y'all some accurate information before, but we only missed one thing, and for that bullshit-ass throw, I will fault Watson for this. That dumb-ass throw, he threw, well, both of the interceptions were really stupid, but the second one, I couldn't believe he threw that. Like, I was just like, why did you throw that? Like, I was raging. But then, so Darren said something like the very next play on Twitter talking about Lonnie Johnson, but I missed the play. I didn't even get to see what happened. I guess he recovered. I didn't see the play, so I'm more than likely to see it on the replay. But just to see when they got the ball back and the fact that we immediately stopped him, DJ Reader makes a huge stop, 2nd and 14. They declined the call. I thought he was going to go 1st and 20. I was going to be pissed. Decline that call. No, we're going to make them work for it. Boom. Then they get 2 pass deflections right after that. It was over. The game was over. And I just knew, man. And it's just like, man, Carlos Hyde was a beast. Carlos Hyde was a beast, man. I just don't see no kind of way that these dudes ain't going to praise him. They finna put some respect on his name this week, man. I'm tweeting at everybody. I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing a live stream as soon as all 3 of us get up out of here. When you get ready to do the phone calls, I'm gonna make sure I do my live stream. I got a couple of things that I gotta take care of before I hop in there, but that's gonna get done. I'm finna go in and Deshaun Watson. I'm so glad. The best thing that happened the whole game. Bill O'Brien said, "No, we're gonna let the quarterback win. We're not finna let this sucker-ass nigga lose us the game. Fairbairn, get your ass up out of here. Matter of fact, we thinking we finna have somebody else in here by the end of the week, nigga, go ahead and challenge you. Because every time the right hash mark is, I don't know why he can't kick from, he's a right foot kicker, and you can't even kick from the right hash. Like, come on, bro. Like, wide left, wide right. You can't make damn PATs. Do you know how many points we left off the board? It was 3 drop passes by it was 2 touchdowns that Fuller completely dropped. That's 14. Hopkins drops another one. That's 21. He misses 2 field goals, which equals 6 points, plus 2 PATs. That's 8 points. So you put us at what, 29 points plus the 31. We put up 60 points this game. I ain't tripping. We won, and we dominated these dudes. Like, we dominated these dudes time of possession. We dominated up front. Charles Omenihu made a spectacular play. I put some respect on his name. Charles Omenihu made a miraculous play that put the offense in the damn, to immediately score. We scored off of every single turnover that we got. Every possession outside of the first possession and all of the missed field goals. We didn't have to punt the ball not one time. This is a great win. This was a statement win. The fact that you can win on the road without J.J., without your right tackle, without Roby in the second half, and a quarter and a half, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then everybody talking about, this O-line, I don't know how they're going to fare up against the Kansas City Chiefs nigga defense. They trash! How do you mean how we going to fare against every defense that's trash, we smash them. What defense that ain't been trash against Deshaun Watson, we ain't smashed? We smashed them. They was averaging 400 yards a game before they got to us. Guess what them whole-ass niggas had? Like 8 yards. 303. They had 50-something yards on the ground. Mahomes had to do all the leg work. Justin Reed, I'm hot at that nigga for getting gloved on like that. I thought it was a pick. Gaines, why didn't he come up on the second touchdown that playing in that zone that Tyreek Hill caught. It got ugly real quick. Carlos Hyde fumbling that ball was unforgivable, but he made up for it the rest of the game. He ran 23 right. I rep him. Go on, move on the man up, man. I got more shit to say when we get to the rest of the topics, bro.
Man, and that's the one thing. So, and nobody can sit here and say that they disappeared on us and then chopped up the whole dilly dally. That no one can sit here and honestly say, by the end of that first quarter, that you had confidence in this game. And shout out 459 deep, man. Hit that motherfucking like button. Hit that dislike button. I don't care. Some of y'all niggas some haters anyway. Hit that dislike button. We always say 464. We 177 likes. We should at least have half the motherfucking likes, man. That's all I'm saying. You know, let YouTube know, you know, you want the livest Texans content on the tube. You know what I'm saying? Often imitated, never duplicated. So, like I said, we didn't split Darren in half. We'll figure that out in a minute. Man up, man. Your thoughts. When you're looking at this game, when you trying to just, you know, decide, you know, or determine what you were saying pregame, you know, how do you feel about this one?
People will wink right there that he's on fire today. But I'm gonna say this here, man. All I can say is, man, with this game here, man, this is a statement game for us, and it was proven, man, that we basically dominated this game. Yes, we won by only one score. But if you think about it, they went up big on us 17-0 to start the game. We got a field goal at the end of the first quarter. Excuse me. We shut them down second quarter. They did not score at all in the second quarter. And we scored, 20 in the second quarter? Something like that. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But 23? Okay. So, and then to Wink's point, if you think about it, we had 2 drop touchdowns. One by Fuller, one by Hopkins. And then, if you think about it, we had another 8 points missed, probably like 5, 6 points, whatever, with the kicker, Fairbairn. So we basically dominated this game. So if it was not for Watson, and I said this in my pregame before this game, my pregame, I said Bill O'Brien needs to let Deshaun Watson be Deshaun Watson. And he did that today on those 4th down plays. We did 3 of them, I think it was, and we converted all of them. So that's what I'm saying, man. If you let Deshaun Watson be who he is, then enough said right there. Enough said. Let that man be who he is. I know a lot of people say, call him DW4. I call him Deshaun the Magician Watson, and he was a magician on that field today. He threw 2 picks. He threw for 1 touchdown and ran for 2. He did what he had to do to win this game because our kicker just messed it up for us. Our very first play on offense was a fumble, and they got that ball and scored a touchdown. See what I'm saying? So we was down big to start this game. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit worried at first. I'm like, what the fuck? But then all of a sudden, here come our defense. I was saying it in our chat here. I was saying our defense got to step it up now, and our defense stepped up and shut them down. I don't want to hear nothing about no Patrick Mahomes injury because we came in this bitch with injuries, and during the game we had some big key injuries to some key players. So I don't want to hear nobody talk about no injuries, and I know that's what they finna get ready to talk about. But I'm not finna spill on too long. I'm gonna go ahead and let the others, you know what I'm saying, say what they got to say.
Man, and that's the thing, man. Yeah, they're gonna try to harp on the injury. They'll talk about, you know, whatever. They'll pick and choose. But again, what the Texans did today was something that I don't feel like I can't say under the Bill O'Brien regime is something Texans have ever done, and that is one, get down big, play your way back in a game, then, you know, go down again and then find a way to win it, and not only win it but hold it down. But let's be realistic, okay, on a couple of things. Now, we're having a different conversation, and you can give Bill O'Brien a lot of credit. I've given him his credit this game for the majority of calling a good game, except for that big gaffe that he had. We saw, again, another one of those plays where 2 receivers end up in the same area. That play where it was a Fuller and Kuti. You see this happen multiple times a game. And is this Bill O'Brien's scheme, or is this receivers not knowing where they're supposed to be? Because you see this happen multiple times a game, and usually it ends up costing a play. On that play, I felt like Fuller was probably, it was a PI on him, but they didn't give. But it was, again, like I say, the refs this game were sketchy. And you could talk about that Kelsey play early on and the significant impact that had, that pick play that they didn't call, and they tried to make up for it on the next play. But making up for it really didn't do you any favors, because that was a 50-something yard gain off of that play, if I'm not mistaken. And then, you knock off a little 10 yards that don't help shit. So, like I say, the referees in this game were questionable. Probably would have been a roughing the passer call that they missed late. Like I say, to me, they were terrible. Fairbairn is the bad from this game. The overall, I'm not mad at anybody else. Defense stepped it up when necessary. Roby went down. Philip Gaines came in. He got harassed for a little bit, but then he eventually got it together. But like I say, it's just again, getting pressure. I don't think we didn't come away with any sacks this game, did we? There was no. We had one. We did have one, because I stepped away for a second, so I might have missed one. We had one. Okay. And so, like I say again, Reader, his presence was again, that he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. But something that I saw Deep Fritz say, 61 yards in the second half is all the Chiefs had. That is ridiculous. Again, so you give commended, because again, I fired Rack in the first half. Rack was unemployed in the first half. I ain't gonna lie to you. I took his job. He had the pink slip in his locker in his office when he went home. Hey, you know what? I went ahead and stuck in, right before the game. I took that back. I'm gonna let him make it one more week. Overall, he has been a disappointment, let's be honest. But he got those guys, when you lost essential pieces, he had those guys ready to play. Lonnie made a couple of key plays. So I'm not mad at that. So again, I think the game ball is a tough one, because I would say that, Watson deserves it, but Hyde was like the foundation of this offense today, because he just came out. He played with intention, because he had something to prove. Former team, he was running them boys over. He was shaking some motherfuckers out their shoes. He was everywhere. He was doing everything right. But I want to talk about play calling. What I said is that, again, is it not for B-Mac getting that ball back at the end of the second half and putting us in position, we might be talking a different game. That's not a play that was drawn up. You know what I'm saying? That was an opportunistic opportunity that the Texans made. And then that last one with Deshaun Watson on that run, that second one he ran in, that man had no space, no room. That man made something out of nothing and made a hell of a play. So, again, some things are play calls, some things are just natural talent and ability, that God-given talent from certain players. And some of, like I say, some of that, yes, I will give Bill O'Brien the majority of credit for putting guys in position, getting the ball out of Watson's hands fast. But then, like I say, you do have those situations where Watson just made it happen. And even being able to overcome penalties, because that last drive was a significant, I think Tunsil had 2 on that drive. Roderick, I think, had 1. And so, again, these things like this are situations historically the Texans have not been able to overcome. You get a penalty on a drive, a false start, or whatever. That's usually a dead drive with the Texans. But again, I don't know what corner Bill O'Brien has turned. I don't know how much of it is the impact that Tim Kelly may be inspiring him to do something different, because it's something different these last 2 games. Even though, yes, we've been facing terrible secondaries, but at the same time, it's something different that Bill O'Brien is doing, that he's implemented, maybe a mentality or whatever it is. Again, it could be that seat getting warm, so he's like, fuck it, let me go big. But he beat a quality coach, finally. A guy who's been a thorn in his side, a nemesis for years, that has embarrassed him time and time again, finally. And so he still has one more major hurdle to overcome later in the season in Week 13. But I'm giving him his credit. Today is his day. Today is the Texans' day. Like I say, I called this game a win at the beginning of the game. So however y'all want to call it, it is what it is. But if you want to go from the preseason prediction, you can call it crow. But like I say, they overcame injuries, penalties, and made plays and being in a deficit and won a game today. I got to give all commendations to the Texans on that. You see
the play that really changed everything, Honcho, was that damn when that Gibson interception. That changed everything.
And let's talk about that real quick, because of the way they called that bitch. At first, did they call it incomplete or interference or something? They called it, and then
something like that.
Yeah, called interference on Johnson.
They called pass interference, but then they picked it up because they said it can't be pass interference if you're not throwing to that person. Because the ball went to someone else. Well, it went way over the head towards someone else. So they say it can't be pass interference if you're not throwing to them. So that's why they picked it up.
Let's see about it in the chat. I agree that Akins definitely needs to see more touches. Every time Akins touched the ball, he was making good things happen.
Man, he was killing it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Fales has been a pleasant surprise because Fales came in and the conversation around Fales was blocking tight end, that man was shit. But I think prior to that, he might still be in the conversation, still leading the team in touchdown reception. So, I mean, he's been a pleasant surprise. There's been a few things that have popped up that have been pleasant surprises. Now, what is it? Next week is we got the Colts next week.
Yep.
Okay.
And we beat them way worse. And we beat the Colts. The Chiefs way worse than they beat them last week.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I want to get into, and I kind of want to segue into that because one, this keeps you in position within the division, and then two, you make those comparative games. Even though any given Sunday it's a different team, different matchups, injuries, whatever you go through each week is different. We'll start with Wink and work our way back around because everything has shifted. How does this bode for the Texans? Again, like I say, as far as standing in the division, and then when you're looking at the Colts next week, how does this make you feel about what they were able to do since they were also able to beat the Chiefs, and now it's two back-to-back AFC South teams that have beaten the Chiefs.
The fact that the Texans' secondary is playing these dudes and actually challenging them from the line of scrimmage, that sets them apart now. That sets them apart. You get back a healthy Roby, you get back a healthy J-Joe to go against that. Let's all see the clown mask come off now. We riding high now that we done beat Mahomes. That's a monkey that's weight off our back that I'm sorry. I know we ain't beat him, and I understand anybody who feels some kind of way about us not beating Jacoby Brissett, and I can understand your reservation for not wanting to go into that game, especially because it's a divisional game. Anything can happen, and this team has taken advantage of us. But you mean to tell me that Ebron and Hilton are over Hill and Mahomes and Kelsey? I don't think so. Anybody making that argument, bro, you're on dope. You're on dope. You clearly need to go get you whatever shot and go to a relapse center.
Whatever Claiborne was on, you need to go holler at Claiborne. Whatever he was on for the first 4 games that he was suspended for substance abuse, he was on. Holler at him. He gonna get you right. And D. Pritch made a good point. So Texas are second in the AFC right now by beating. Yep. So it's not just the South, but in the overall AFC. So again, Bill O'Brien's in the driver's seat. The Texans control their destiny.
The Chiefs can't do anything to alter that because we beat them.
Exactly.
They can't do anything about that. We beat them. And then we beat the Chargers. If they mess around and they lose to the Chargers and they lose to we got to play the Broncos. So that means right now we're 2-0 against the AFC West. We have not lost to an AFC team yet. Have y'all realized that? We have only lost to NFC South teams. So we're 3-0 in the conference. We done beat 2 teams in the AFC West who I know the Colts already handled business. Oh, we so sure that the Jacksonville Jaguars had already got their ass handed to them in game 1. The only team that's left is the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans, honestly, could pull off an upset too. They're not out of the woods. The fact that they beat us is in the next couple of weeks, like it's a 3-game stretch for the Chiefs. When I looked at their schedule the other day, they got a hard little 3-game stretch. Not this next game, but I think after that, it's a 3-game consecutive stretch where they got some tough games, bro, and it ain't gonna be easy for them to pull them games off, especially since we did what we did. Now you got 2 AFC South teams with horrible supposed defenses, and you mean to tell me they come out against Mahomes and shut this boy down in the second half if he only gets 61 yards in the second half? That's a story in itself. You don't get to do that with Phillip Gaines, a rookie, Tayshaun Gibson, Justin Reed, and some linebackers supposedly that, nobody outside of the Houston Texans organization knows about. You know what I'm saying? So now that we got nobodies, now they finna turn into somebodies now. I'm not saying these dudes is A1, like, oh my God, like, I just believe in the secondary. But you can't tell me after going up against a quarterback that puts up the ball that's number 1 in passing, and we can't stop him. It don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me at all. But we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna keep on moving on. I'll give some more points in the next segment.
Mm-hmm. All right, man up, man. How do you feel today? What's up with the Texans sitting in the second seed, I guess, overall in the AFC, controlling their destiny in the AFC South? What does this say, as far as the future? And then looking at the Colts, I think somebody said Colts on a bye week this week. Oh, daughter up in the building. Shout out to daughter up. But, with the Colts coming off a bye week, what does that say? And what do you expect from the Colts coming up next week?
Well, what I'm going to say right here, shout out to my daughter who's a Jaguars fan here, but either way it go. But I got to embarrass her. But anyway, shout out to her. All right, going back upstairs now. Sorry about that. All right, now shout out to the Texans for what they did here. Now, what I'm going to say right here with the Chiefs losing this game, Wink makes a good point. I've said this before when we beat the Chargers, that was a big win for us because it was an AFC opponent. Yeah, it's not division, but guess what? If it comes down to like playoff matchups and seedings and tiebreakers and all that good stuff, by us beating the Chargers that first game right there, that puts us over the top. And then by us beating the Chiefs, another AFC game, that also puts us over the top. Now I know we got the Colts next, and if we beat them, that's going to definitely put us, right up there with it. And I am looking at right now the standings. There are a couple other teams that are 4-2. I ain't worried about the Chiefs because we overtake them with this win. But we got the Ravens at 4-2 as well too. So we are second behind the Patriots in the AFC, who is 6-0 right now. But with all that being said, though, excuse me. With all that being said, with this win right here, it's going to solidify us as a contender in this league, in this game, this season. As long as we can keep this momentum going, and I know, like Wink just said, we don't have a good record against Jacoby Brissett when he was with the Patriots, but still, if we can keep this momentum going, keep Deshaun Watson upright, because once again, he did not get sacked. He threw two picks. And I kind of questioned myself. So that brings his pick total for the season so far at 3, which is still pretty good. But he did not get sacked. So that's why I say all the time, man. That's why I preach this so much. And people say I sound like a broken record. People say I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But guess what? It was proven today. If our offensive line hold up, see what we can get 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, you want to say Atlanta ain't nothing. Well, the Chiefs is a better team. So now what you got to say?
This is true. So like I said, they proved against a team that is presumed to be a contender. You bring back Tyreek Hill. And so this is my thing. Like I said, a shout out to a bunch of folks. They was, like I said, at the beginning of the game, I said, if Tyreek Hill changes your outcome and your opinion on this game, you don't have the faith you think that you have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So people, Hill's back and people trying to argue, this, that, the third. Again, we ain't even going to get into that. But, Darren, your thoughts, just looking at where the Texans are in the standings and everything like that, and then we'll probably get into the sauce line here shortly after that. But just what does it say for the future? Because, man, I brought up a good point. You got the Ravens, you got the Pats, you got a lot of teams. You got a chance for Bill O'Brien to prove himself. Because I think this is a we talk about prove-it deals for players. I think this is a prove-it season for O'Brien. Like, are you a serviceable coach? Are you a guy who can actually contend? Not just dominate the AFC South, back into the playoffs and then get kicked right back out. Does this game put him in that direction? How much credit do you give him, or do you feel like he still has to, show a couple other things before he's really in that conversation?
Well, I'm not gonna hate on the man. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. He went out there. He called certain plays and whatnot along with Tim Kelly, and they drove plays that put up points. We ended up with more points than they did. So I'm not going to shit on him in that regard. But as far as going forward, that remains to be seen because, like I said, we got other heavy hitters we got to play. So until we actually get there and actually play them, I can't really, make a judgment on that. But one thing I can say going forward, and I was actually thinking about this when Wink and Man Up was making their points about how many points we put up. Remember, guys, we put up 53, and we could have put up 60 points, and this is all without Kenny Stills.
Yep.
Just keep that in mind, guys. This is all without Kenny Stills. And Also, another thing I want to point out, those mental errors that you're seeing on the field where guys are, well, as far as the receivers go, and I hate to have to signal out, Kiki on this one, but they generally happen, when he's in the game, and you notice when Stills before Stills got hurt, you wasn't seeing, receiver penalties. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you might get a occasional offensive holding or some other BS call that you'd be like, what? They called that? But other than that, receivers wouldn't really get, just out of position all the time. So I think, as time progresses, I think he will, he'll move forward and he'll actually get past that. But just keep in mind, guys, we've been putting up a lot of points and we still don't have Kenny Stills. So with him coming back, and if he comes back for the Indy game, I'm calling it now. Just like how T.Y. came in with the clown mask and was doing all that bullshit, I say Kenny Stills has one of those type of games if he comes back.
We put up 84 points in 2 weeks. Do y'all realize that?
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this here, though. Let me say this to his to his point. But think about this. Yeah, we put up 31 points today.
Yeah.
We actually could have put up more points than that. If you think about it, those 2 drop touchdown passes, those 2 missed field goals, and 2 missed extra points, we could have put up a whole lot more points. We could have at least had another 50 or 60-point game right there.
Thinking about it, when I really think about it, we scored on those drives anyway. So I can't say I got to redo the math. So if it's already 8 points. So we end up missing. I think in one of those drives we end up missing the field goal. So if you take that on, that's still at 14 points. So that still puts us up to 45.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, we still get not 45. 46. We still end up getting 46. The score is going to be 46 to 24. And then how does that look for the Chiefs? That's a 22 point. That's a 22 point difference.
And with all the Mahomes hype that he had coming in, like Wink said before the stream started and after it started, these social networks, they need to put some fucking respect on Deshaun Watson's name, like in a major fucking way, like for real. Like they really do. You know what I'm saying? All this, Mahomes is this and Mahomes is that. I don't give a damn about none of that because at the end of the day, this matters. And guess what? We got us one of these. So, and Patty Mahomes, he had to take a L. So you got to go with it and call it for what it is.
Oh, bitch ass. Fucking gay ostrich transgender looking ass. That nigga looks awkward.
It was a joy. It was a joy to just watch him sit on the sideline and just look at Watson play.
Yeah, he was mad. He knew it.
We can't stop him.
But that's the thing. That's the blueprint. If you have a running game, you beat the Chiefs. You keep Mahomes off the field, and again, you beat the Chiefs. And like I said, the Texans defense, they did what they had to do because we know we don't come into this game expecting much out of them. But they played the way that they needed to play. Couple of things, like I said, I know I see y'all dialing and profiling, so we're gonna get to the line here in just a second. But first, before we do that, I'm gonna allow these gentlemen if there's anything they want to say before we switch it over. And then, like I said, I'm gonna hop on the Sauce line and start taking some calls.
What I'm about to do, I'm gonna sit back. I'm probably gonna just watch everybody call. I'm gonna get in the damn call. I'm gonna get on Twitter, see what everybody was talking about. Hit back everybody who hit me up. This was a great win. I'm doing a live stream as soon as Honcho. I was gonna do it during, but it's too many people in here to really take from what Honcho doing, so I ain't finna interfere with no time. As soon as he over, y'all come to Third Coast Sports TV. I got more shit to say.
Already.
Well, I'm gonna say this here. I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here. As y'all saw my daughter, I gotta go spend some father-daughter time with her now. But I am gonna say this here. Good win for the Texans. Hope we keep this going, ride that momentum. And like I said, man, like everybody's saying, put some respect on his name. No, y'all keep disrespecting. You see what happens. So keep disrespecting.
Already. Then you got the Mr. Davis.
Oh man, shout out to everybody, man. This was another great show, man. This was a great win by the Texans. Again, we gotta keep building. We gotta keep it going. We can't just sit here and be too high for one win. All right. Come next week, we got us another opponent. let's replicate it. Let's not be like all these other fans out here. Over here talking about yeah we did it and all that other bullshit. Let's stay humble. Let's keep it going, and let's let's act like we've been there before. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't been there before. We ain't
no, I'm talking about. You're right. No. Actually, you know what? You're right. We haven't been there before, but shit. And they professionals, goddamn it, act like they got some class. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But for real though. And another thing, bro, I'm glad we don't do those bullshit ass celebrations that the Kansas City Chiefs was doing, bro. That shit gay, man. No grown ass man be popping and all that other bullshit, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah, they were doing some very questionable celebrations, but at the end of the day, the best celebration is when you take that knee and let that clock run out. Ain't no better celebration than that. But gentlemen, man, I appreciate y'all stopping through. Let's get to this Sauce line. Like I say, shout out to Man Up, shout out to Swisher, shout out to Wink. Again, all the links in the description below. And if you haven't, Wink has a new Twitter because I think they put the other day they gave him a life sentence. What's the Twitter for him, just in case they don't know? And I retweeted it earlier.
It's at Third Coast Sports TV. I was able to get it all the way in there, unlike I was before. So it's Third Coast Sports TV. When you type it in, you'll see me.
All right, well, that's a bet. Like I said, gentlemen, I appreciate it. Let's slide over to the Sauce line, and I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side.
Bet.
All right. Shout out to them, man. So here we go. Like I say, this is what we're going to do. We're finna get into it. We're finna open up the Sauce line. I know y'all want to call. I know y'all got things on your mind. I know y'all want to discuss and address a lot of various issues. I guess I could be cool and actually put the damn number up here, huh? That would be nifty. Is you gonna let me put the shit over here? What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? You just ain't gonna let me. God damn, shit was. I had an invisible wall blocking the shit. Okay, well, y'all already calling in, so I guess that's that. Let's take some calls and then we'll go from there. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the Sauce line this evening or afternoon or whatever fucking time it is, man?
What's good, Honcho? This is Vince.
Vince, man, what's on your mind, man? How you feeling? I mean, what did you take away from this game today?
Well, first of all, man, I called this win at work for the Texans, man, to beat Kansas City because they, like I said, they had some issues going on. I felt like the Texans was going to win this game, man. But moving forward, man, I'm telling you, let your quarterback win the game like Bill O'Brien did, man. Fuck Fairbairn. I keep saying every week he got to go, man.
Yeah. I mean, especially last week. But the thing that bothered me is that they didn't even bring in, anytime somebody else is fucking up or possibly in the doghouse, they bring in 2 or 3 guys at that position group to try out to even make it look like they try to do something. But Fairbairn, I don't even think they brought in any kickers last week.
Yeah, they need to bring some more in, man, because he's got to go. But I will say this, man, too, man. Like, that offensive line looked great. No sacks on D. Watson, man. And I got to say, man, they got some players, man. They got to make sure they re-sign, man. You got to bring back Hyde. You got to bring back Roby. Played solid today.
Yes, he did.
They got some players, man. They need to really re-sign, make sure they're going to stay with this team, man, because doing 1-year deals, man, fuck all that. They got some players they got to re-sign.
Mm-hmm. It's going to cost them in the long run. And the thing about Roby is I'd like to see what his injury was because, again, even when he came here, what was his statement? Well, they brought me here to stop T.Y. And, that's next week's game. And if he's injured and ain't unable to go, it'll be questionable. But we'll see what happens.
I think it's a hamstring injury.
No, the Houston hamstring. I mean, that's what you expect. If it's Houston, it's a hamstring. That's the first thing you go to. I don't care if it's a break a shoulder. So the first guess is always a hamstring. Anybody, I don't care if it's the Rockets. I don't care if it's the damn Texans. It's always a goddamn hamstring when it's a Houston player.
Yeah, man. But the other thing, too, man, I don't want to hear no more people saying Holmes over Watson, man. They can't deny that boy Watson, man. I'm telling you. That dude is the truth. Period. Yeah. They can make all the excuses they want to say, but at the end of the day, what you got, Watson's better, man. He's had to work with more problems than Mahomes has ever had to deal with. I don't want to hear no more talk about Holmes over Watson, man.
Exactly. They tried to play that excuse. His offensive line, they're kind of injured, and he's got this going on, and it's just like, come on, man. Even at the worst situation Patrick Mahomes has been in, at one point was probably the best that Watson had over the last 2 years until like maybe, these last couple of weeks where they finally had some consistency in the offensive line, getting some of the same bodies out there and things like that. Mahomes has had it pretty good. He got a chance to sit behind a veteran to learn before he got thrown into the fire. So, he got to watch the game. He has a quality head coach. I mean, just a lot of things that have benefited him so much more than Watson. And Watson is just kind of learning as he goes and improving steadily week in and week out.
Yeah, man, because like I said, that dude's Watson's the magician, man. Like I said, the truth, man. There ain't nothing else to say about it.
I agree. That's the BET. I can't dispute that, man. Anything else you'd like to add there, Vince?
Yeah, man. Just shout out to everybody in the chat, and shout out to I think what's his name in the chat. I want to say Texans for life, because he was bringing up that same point that the Texans put all these points up, but they didn't even have Kenny Stills, man.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. And so that's another weapon that can do a lot of damage quickly. And I mean, it's just the Texans beat themselves in a lot of ways. They hurt themselves in a lot of ways, but were still able to overcome and find success. That's the craziest thing, because usually all it would take is one or two little instances. The Texans just out the game. It's over with for them. But the fact that they were able to overcome adversity today and find that success, that definitely said a lot to me with what this team is possibly doing.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Like I said, big win for them, man. But again, I'm gonna get off and let some other people call in, man. But like I said, good win for the Texans, man. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man.
All right, Vince, man. Appreciate you getting the party started, man.
All right, man.
Alrighty. All right. And yes, Professor Trill, I hope you call into the rehab line. You was looking like you was gonna be right early though. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the sauce line this evening?
Man, it's Dakota, man.
Dakota, what's on your mind? How you feeling about this game, Dakota?
First of all, shout out to Tayshaun Gibson. The man put Kelsey on a milk carton. Honcho, open up a poverty investigating firm. Find Kelsey. Somebody find this young man.
Appreciate the self-rescue. Man, look, Kelsey, here's my biggest play for Gibson, though, because Gibson made a reference. He said last season, hey, I was the man that gave Mahomes his first INT, and basically don't be surprised if he did it again. Now, he had a couple plays where he was just, Tayshaun, what's going on? But, he definitely made a big play when it counted. And so it is, I'm going to give Tayshaun some love, man. I can't hate on him for that.
He took your boy out the game. Second half, I don't know what the hell happened to the Chiefs. They just folded. Like, everybody want to say, oh, Mahomes is this, Mahomes is that. I got to remember, Deshaun Watson beat Bama. He lost. Me personally, I feel like he beat him twice. But the first game, the defense let him down. Nah, not the second time. Y'all got to remember, Watson is a winner. He loves to win.
Yes.
He put the game on his back.
Yes, that's true. So what was your biggest play of the game today, man?
Biggest play of the game was got to be that strip sack.
Okay, yeah, I think so. I think that's what kept that energy, because had something gone differently on that play, because you down, your energy was up, you're so close, you're in the red zone, and then you just you lose it, and you just like, damn, we were so close, we missed out on points, and then to get it right back right there, I think it was a critical play. So I would have to agree with you. That is, that's probably one of the biggest plays of the game today.
What'd you say?
I said that is probably one of the biggest plays of the game today.
Oh yeah. And there's two people the Texans got to thank. I'm still not a Bill O'Brien fan. It's fuck Bill O'Brien for life. That nigga need to go. I ain't giving him credit for shit. And I'm going to tell you why. This dude wanted this nigga named Mitchell fucking Trubisky. Y'all got to remember that. He wanted Mitchell Trubisky. So y'all got to thank the old boy Ryan Peace out in Chicago, and thank Andy Reid out in fucking Kansas City. If it wasn't for them two, we wouldn't have got that bad man wearing number 4 right now.
Yeah. I think the situation did fall into his hands, because I think he would have definitely, if he had a higher pick or a different choice, it might not have been Deshaun Watson. So I would agree with you on that one. Okay. That's a bet. Anything else you'd like to add to that one, Dakota?
Nah, that's all, man. Good win, statement win.
I agree.
National media need to put some respect on that young man's name.
Exactly. That's a BET. I agree. There was a statement when said that before the game, and then Bill O'Brien made a statement today. The Texans as a whole made a statement today. So I will definitely agree with that. But that's a bet, Dakota, man. I appreciate you calling in.
No problem.
All right. You two have a good one. Like I said, look, I'm trying to get y'all in on this line, man. I know a lot of y'all want to call in. I know y'all want to talk about it. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who got calling in to the Sauce line this afternoon?
What the hell is Sauce Sports?
I don't know, man. Just niggas looking for some free love, man. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind? How you feeling about how you feeling about this win, man?
Man, Honcho, man, yeah, they had me clapping loud in this bitch like I'm in church, my man. Like, boy, I was happy as hell today, man. You know, the whole time leading up to this game, I was optimistic. I was like, you know, we could win, we could lose. I wasn't trying to get cocky and say, you know, just because the Colts won, just because we had that explosive win in Atlanta, I wasn't about to say, oh, we're about to automatically win this game. I was happy that most of the national media picked against us. When they pick against us, we win. And most of them did. Some were picking us, most did. I was like, you know what? That's what I want to hear. I was happy that Tyreek Hill played because I wanted the best competition. We know they ain't fully healthy, but damn, Tyreek makes that team a hell of a lot better. Not today, but he overall does. And man, Honcho, after starting off shitty, we came in there and we showed that we a team to be contended with. I mean, I was proud of this team. He started off horrible, but he turned the game. He deserved the game-winning ball. He turned around and went off. You know, we was running on them niggas like we was running on them niggas like it was motherfucker like the slaves, like in the snow. We was running on them niggas gone. You know what I mean? Dude got in there. He did a little bit of work. Just an overall great game, man. I just think this is a statement win. This is a win that shows that, you know what, hey, Houston, we just ain't gonna beat the sorry teams or the average or the somewhat above average. We can beat the top 10 teams you put in the Super Bowl, category, and we did it. So I'm proud of this team. I'm proud that both the offense and the defense started off kind of slow, started kind of shaky. Even with diversity of losing some people on defense, they stepped up. Lonnie Johnson, you could call it pass interference, but he got Kelsey ass. He shut Kelsey ass up for the rest of the second half. Watson came in there, showed that he is the MVP. I'm saying it already. I don't give a damn. And it's just we proved ourselves. So I'm happy, man.
All right. Are you happy? I'll be happy if everybody who watching that ain't hit that like button yet. Hit that like button.
Man, you know hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. Come on, help Sauce next out here, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's all we say.
I'm gonna say my favorite play, Honcho. I'm gonna say that it's actually I'm gonna say when it was Gibson's interception. You know why? Because I feel like that was momentum changer. That is when we had it. You know, because at first they was trying to call the pass interference, you know, on Lonnie, and then they turned that over, and then you could just tell the disbelief in coach and not coach, Chiefs fans and in the Chiefs themselves. Like, what? Mm-hmm. And they was never the same after that. They couldn't coach. They didn't get what they wanted, and we took advantage of it. So, you know, like I'm proud of this team. The team's doing a good job. Bill and Romeo stepped up when they had to step up. I'm going to give them some credit. I'm not sold on them, but they stepped up when they know they had to. But I'm going to say this, Honcho. I don't want to leave it on a bad note, but look, the national media ain't going to give us no love. Fuck First Take, fuck Undisputed, fuck Good Morning Football, because you know what they're going to say? This is going to be the headline, Honcho. What is wrong with the Chiefs? What is wrong with Patrick Mahomes? Exactly. Where did the Chiefs go wrong? That's going to be the headline.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's going to be the headline. It's not going to be but when they say, well, Stephen A., what's your opinion? He ain't gonna say, man, Deshaun Watson was a bad man, like he always say. No, what's wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs? How can they fix it? You know, so don't even look at the national media, man. Just as a fan, believe in your team. Your team's gonna motherfucking do it. Go Texans, man. I'm out here, man. Like the stream, I'm out, man.
All right, Roman, man. Appreciate the call, man.
Man, anytime.
But what Roman said is facts, man, because they're not going to attribute, the Texans for playing hard and doing what they needed to do. Because if it would have been the other way around, Chiefs come back and have a great win, they wouldn't give the Texans credit. So again, now it's going to be why didn't the Chiefs find second? When the Texans were dominant in that second half, it had nothing to do with the Chiefs in that second half. It had everything to do with the Texans being the team that they needed to be. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the Sauce line this afternoon?
Hey, man, it's Elise.
Oh, so Lise, what's up, man? What's on your mind, man? How you feeling about this game, man?
Man, I'm shocked that we actually won. I thought, O'Brien was really going to play for him. He did a little bit, but Deshaun balled out. I mean, I'm looking forward to who we got next week, really.
Okay, with the Colts. So you ready for the Colts coming off a bye week?
Oh, yeah. Ever since I heard Deion Sanders saying, or people saying that the Colts going to win the division, I'm like, all right, let's go. My boys got this.
Okay. And again, I think it's going to be very interesting, and I think so too. I think that the Colts are going to be missing a good player in Leonard, and again, Jacoby Brissett is a guy who's given us some trouble. So it's going to be very interesting to see the outcome, and if the Texans try to play down the competition, or if they take this newfound identity, and because again they've started trying to make bigger plays, especially with Will Fuller in the mix. And see if they try to take that and run with it. If they try to, make people play their game, it's going to be very interesting. So what do you think was the biggest play of the game today, man?
The biggest play of the game was probably that third down run that Carlos Hyde. No, not the run. My bad. The pass that Deshaun did to actually steal the game to D-Hop. I think that's the biggest play, really. I mean, that showed a lot of character in what the team could do to me.
Okay.
But my biggest issue is, though, I had that one that before the half ended, when Deshaun threw the Hail Mary, not the Hail Mary pass, but the deep pass, and it got intercepted. I didn't like how O'Brien put the two receivers next together. I mean, that's still some of that play calling that needs to get worked up on. But I'm happy for the win, man. I really am.
Okay. And so, what does this statement say about the Texans to you, or have they turned over a new leaf? Because again, this is a game that the Texans, and historically, especially under the Bill O'Brien regime, this is a game the Texans typically lose. So did it show you something different today? Do you think they have a new, way of operating, or do you think this was just a game that fell in their favor?
Because we got Watson, man. I think Watson, ever since he came in, was a winner, and he's going to be a Super Bowl champion at some point in his career. That's what I just think, man. I mean, when you have certain players on their team that could make the difference, I think he's just one of those guys that we got. And I just can't wait to see what he does the rest of the season.
I see somebody asked about the Jets picking up the former tight end Ryan Griffin. Yeah, they got Ryan Griffin, and I think they got Vincent Smith. And Vincent Smith had a touchdown last week, so if you're asking about the Jets. Yeah, and again, so, you say Watson. It's Watson and his demeanor. You think that he's the presence that's changing the energy in his locker room? Okay.
Well, it's definitely I think it was one of my first games I ever seen him play was against Tennessee, and the way that he just controlled the offense his first season it was different from any Texans quarterback I've ever seen before.
Absolutely.
So it was just a different demeanor he's brought. It's the leadership role. I mean, it's just how he never gives up, and he just wants to win.
Well, I agree, and I see what somebody said. Basically, they've got and that's my issue with Bill O'Brien is sometimes, just like the Texans, he stumbles himself. Sometimes it's just like, hey, step back, let these guys do what they do best. Quit getting overcomplicated, quit trying to get too cute, too creative, and let the players play. I think that's just kind of where it is. So, all right.
Well, definitely. What happened to our tackle though? Is he how long is he out for? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but they said it wasn't a tear or it wasn't an ACL thing. They said he was grabbing his knee or something like that. So they say it shouldn't be a major injury. So I don't think it'll be as bad.
Tear of that?
Yeah, I don't think it's any kind of tear. Hopefully, I think it's that it just it might be a sprain or something. But I don't think it's a tear.
Good. All right, man. Well, that's all I got. I'll see you next time, man.
All right, so Lisa, man, appreciate the call, man. So they need John Weeks out there, King. John Weeks can do it all, man. You know what I'm saying? He's the man. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the sauce line this afternoon? Hello.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's good? Who we got calling into the sauce line this afternoon, man?
We got Omar Khan.
Already, Omar, what's on your mind? Omar, how do you feel about this game, man? How do you feel about this win?
I feel good about the win. I feel good about everything. I just got a few questions for you.
All right, what's happening?
What you think of Patrick Peterson? He on the trade block?
Did they put him on the trade block?
Yep.
And that's a very interesting perspective. Depending on what they're asking for. I mean, I don't know what assets we have as far as, trade bait, and then what players are you giving up for? So that's a very interesting one to look at to try to see. Hold on, let me see what we got going on. I'd have to look at it. I'd have to really look at that right now.
I just don't see that he has value, but he's 30. He might be 30 years of age, so I don't think he's worth the first round. Probably a second or a third. We can probably offer him that, or offer the Cardinals that.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, you don't really have. You don't have, as far as picks, you really don't have a lot, and I think it would have to be some type of package of a player and maybe a mid-round pick or something like that. But again, I don't know who you're giving up, because right now I don't think the Texans are in a position to spare anybody, any of the talent that we have. I don't think we're in a position to spare it. So I think that he would be a good addition, but I'd probably have to say we'd probably have to pass on that one.
I got one more thing to say, Honcho. I was watching y'all in the preseason and in the offseason. I was talking down on Bradley Roby, talking down Deshaun Gibson. I think it's about time for you to eat crow.
So here's the deal, okay? And on that one, I said during the preseason that I wasn't even really that mad about the Deshaun Gibson pick. I wasn't really tripping. I thought that he would be all right. The Roby deal, my big issue with the Roby deal was, again, I don't think that he was truly proven, and that it was a 1-year situation, and you're offering him a chunk of change. So if he does pan out, then now you're kind of in a situation where either he's going to walk and go somewhere else and get paid, or you're going to have to come off a lot of money. Roby, like I said, even with Roby, like I said, Roby was more of a prove it situation to me. Like I said, because I didn't feel like he had proved it in Denver. I felt like he got to play behind some guys that kind of made him look better, almost a Colvin situation. I won't say he was as bad as Colvin, but because my thing was, why would Denver let him walk and not really make him an offer, being the guy that he was. And then, like I say, Deshaun, I didn't have any real problem with Deshaun. I wasn't just super high and I wasn't super low with it. I was just like, I wasn't really tripping on it. But what I will. It's something I do have to eat crow on. I'm trying to remember what it was. I said it during the game that I'm gonna have to eat some crow. I'm gonna think of it before the stream is over. I remember. I think I jotted down the notes, but I do have some crow. I know I need to eat. I have to recall what it is. But I know, like I said, in the preseason, I did expect this game to be a loss. But like I said, everything worked out well. The Mahomes versus Watson battle is up. Watson won to Mahomes, so we'll see how the pundits and people try to run with that. But like I said, I did say that I had questioned the secondary. To me, the secondary still isn't super solid, but they did what they needed to do today, because to me early they gave up some yards. But it's a bend but don't break situation.
I got two more things. What you think about Tyus Howard? How you feel about that?
Tyus Howard is somebody that I have been critical of, but what people got to realize, and it's funny because, like I say, it's about arguments, it's about words, it's about semantics a lot. Because people are like to say, oh, Honcho, you said this. But you have to look at the wording in which I say a lot of stuff, and I do this deliberately. Tyus Howard, again, and I think the whole roundtable said this, that nobody was tripping on him being picked where he was. But the idea that Tyus Howard, and this is what it was, so people will try to say, oh, you said this, but now we're having a different argument, is he was picked to be a left tackle. That's what everybody, he's going to be the left tackle of the future. He's going to be this. Then he started out, he was a guard. Then they moved him to right tackle. This is a different position, okay? He's not a left tackle. We all had a complaint about him being a left tackle in the position in which you got him. He ends up being a right tackle. You end up making some big moves for Tunsil. None of this stuff was predicted at that time. But what he's doing where he is, I have no complaints about Howard. He's been relatively solid. And I will say that he has performed overall better than what I've expected. I think he did have a penalty today. But outside of that, I'm not going to sit here and shit on the dude. I just think that, like I said, I think that the position in which he was picked, I think that you probably could have got somebody else and kind of caught him in the second round. That's just kind of where I felt with that.
Yeah, and lastly, Watson or McCaffrey for MVP?
Ooh. I think if it came down to it, one personal bias, Watson. But if McCaffrey reaches these numbers that he's projected to reach, I think it's a situation of who's putting up the record-breaking numbers. Because if McCaffrey's projected to reach number like 2,700, doing something that no running back has ever done before,
I'm crazy.
I would lean that way just because of the legitimacy of what he did. Kind of the same way where I felt like, but I would feel like it would be some whole shit if he does. Because then what they need to do is just go ahead and make it, like I say, they need to change the title of the award because, you know, when Watt had that record-breaking year and he was in that question for MVP, but, you know, he never really had a chance. You know, there's no consideration. They need to kind of maybe do an offensive, defensive MVP or call it something like that. But I think that they need to figure out what that award, because basically it's a quarterback's award. So more than likely it's going to be, if it came down to it, I think it would probably be Watson. But I mean, if he does break some records, I wouldn't be opposed to McCaffrey getting it. But I want Watson to win, definitely.
I don't know. I feel like if Cam Newton comes back, he's gonna mess up McCaffrey's stats. But because Kyle Allen and McCaffrey, they got good chemistry going on. I think Cam Newton and McCaffrey, I think Cam Newton like kind of killed his momentum with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I can agree. He might not want, you know, somebody else. He probably feels like that's his team. They may not want him to want somebody outshining him on his team. He already dressed like a weirdo. He's trying to get all the attention he can get. So who knows? But I'm not gonna dispute what you're saying on that one. I can see it.
But okay, Hunch, nice talking to you. Before I go, I just want to say, what's your predictions now? Texans record. You said 7-9 before the season. What you got now?
I had 7-9 before the preseason. I had the actual prediction I gave was 10-6. Was the one right before the season started, like after we made some acquisitions and stuff. And I think that was, I don't remember if that was before Tunsil or not. But I'm still not going to stray from the 10-6 right now because I believe the Texans will do something that they shouldn't do. Again, like I said, I'm going to wait and see on some of these games, these divisional games. They could go one way or the other. I think that I will be comfortable at 10-6, saying that 10-6 wins this division. And like I say, historically, the Texans and having a chance to secure themselves with a high seed going into the playoffs, they fumbled the bag a couple of times. So I'm going to stick with 10-6.
Okay, Honcho. Nice talking. I'm going to hold you to that record.
All right, well, I appreciate that, Omar, man. Keep me accountable. That's what it's all about in South Sports, man. If I said something, if I said it, I'll own up to it.
All right, man.
Already. Bet. Yeah, I'm not sure. Y'all got to understand something about me, man. It's extremely easy to say, I was wrong about that. I don't know why there's certain people, again, like I say, they only show up when things go right. But when they were absolutely wrong about a bunch of shit, you don't see them for weeks, months, all of those things. But they pop up when things look like they're going right, and then they try to say, see, I said this, but you also said a bunch of other dumb shit that you go and hide for. You know what I'm saying? So it's no problem saying, hey, Honcho, you said this, you said this, you said this. And I say, hey, you know what? You were right. I did say that. I'll own up to that. Look, who else you know that keeps a crow, at least a baby crow, it's a little baby crow, who keeps a crow on deck, on desk, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem owning up to when I'm wrong. Like I don't know. There's some people who just have this pride issue, who just, again, like I say, I'm gonna be here every time. I'm gonna be, you look, be shit. I'll give y'all direct access, just like that gentleman called and he said, hey, you know what? You said this, you said this, you said this. I'm going to either clarify or I said, hey, this is what I did say, or this is what I didn't say. But even with Titus Howard, I didn't think that he would be very solid early on. Like I said, I said he was a project guy because, again, was projected to be a left tackle. A lot of things happened after the statements that we made, and that's what people don't want to account for. They want to say, oh, well, y'all said this, this, and this. Okay, but he's not a left tackle. Shit, he wasn't even a tackle, period, at first. He became a guard, and then, a lot of these position changes happened. They played, ring around the rosy with the line and figured it out. And then now we are. And what he's doing now is he's playing well for a right tackle. I'm hoping that he's healthy. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the Sauce line this evening?
What's going on, Honcho? This your boy Broderick.
Broderick. Be for real. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind, man? How you feeling about this team? What would you like to share this evening?
Man, I'm just trying to spread my positivity. You know what I mean?
I know where this is going.
Look here, dog. Yeah. This is all I'm gonna say, man. Mm-hmm. As I've been saying all season long, my main point is when you got a guy like Deshaun Watson, you ain't never ever out of it. You always in every game. But this is something that I also said. 2 more things. Bill O'Brien has the capacity to change. And he's shown that. He has the capacity to realize his previous faults and make those adjustments, which he's showing that he's capable of doing. We just need him to make sure that he's doing that consistently. The other point that I've also said many times, Romeo Cornell has not forgot how to coach. You know what I mean? He's been in the league for more than 40 years. He hasn't forgot how to do this thing. And he has some pieces that he can use. And, I mean, one thing that I'm surprised about is how well the secondary bounced back from that awful first quarter that they had. You know what I'm saying? We really ain't hear no more from Tyreek and, you know, maybe a little bit from Kelsey, you know. But, I mean, they did their thing, man, and it's looking like these acquisitions that we made are, I mean, they're not Pro Bowl level, but they hold and serve. They're doing just enough. And I mean, to be honest with you, had we come out in after halftime and actually scored, I don't think that the Chiefs would even put that 24 up. You know what I mean? We pretty much spotted them at least 14 points today. You know? So, I mean, any defense that's backed up, I mean, that's, you know, backed up like that, I mean, it's harder for them to be able to stop a high-powered offense that's riding on a whole lot of energy early in the game. You know what I mean? But I just want to give everybody they due, you know, and just hopefully we can keep this thing up. And, I mean, these guys are playing real good ball. And, you know, I just like to stay optimistic, man. You never know what this thing could turn out to be, you know, as far as the AFC race. But, I mean, everybody's talking about the Patriots and, you know, the Chiefs, and rarely are the Texans ever mentioned. I mean, the Colts are always mentioned over the Texans, but we got to be intellectually honest right now. If you look at the talent that this team has, if our coaching can just be consistent, then we got a chance to take it all the way to the big dance, and that's all I got.
Okay. Roger, you know, how many? Look, I'm rubbing a little salt in the wound today too. How many wins do the Texans currently have?
We have 4 wins.
Oh, okay.
Now, according to my man Professor Trill, with his prediction, I think we're gonna lose the next 10 games in a row. That's what Professor Trill said. You know, because we're gonna be 4-12.
Okay. You know, I just had to check, make sure, you know, I had to check my crack pipe was a little dirty. You know, I had to make sure, you know, clean the glass. You know, I'm talking a little shit. But okay. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to double check that.
Yeah, you know, I just signed off my crack pipe too, because, you know, we still smoking that good. You know, so yeah, you know, maybe over the last 2 weeks we just been smoking that good crack, and it's just been overtaking our good senses. Yeah. You know, so. You know, Professor Trill, he's always right about these types of things, so we have to bow down.
Already, man. But I appreciate you calling in, brother. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
No, man, I just, you know, like I said, man, I just hope that we just keep doing what we're doing and getting better. And I'll tell you one thing that's amazing to me over this season is that we've been able to relatively stay healthy, depending on what's going on with Titus right now. And the biggest thing about the NFL when it comes to later in the season is health and who's able to run the football and play decent defense. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if we can remain healthy and be able to run the football and play middle of the road defense, then we have a chance at this thing, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. I think that's kind of what it's going to come down to. And with some of these, again, and you will give them to do. There's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of new pieces on both sides, and you know, give them a few weeks to get into it. So, you know, the best may be yet to come. This may be where they peak. We just got to keep on hoping. And like you said, I think the biggest key is consistency in coaching.
And Deshaun Watson. That's it.
Absolutely. That's a bit, man. Well, I appreciate the call there, Broderick.
What's up?
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right.
Yeah. I had to talk a little shit. I throw a little extra shit in there. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den? Not den.
What's the motherfucking deal at Honcho?
I said the den sauce. Well, man, who we got calling in, man? Who we got? This my partner man things, man.
This is your boy, Man Things.
What's the motherfucking deal, man? Things ain't heard from you in a minute, man. What's on your mind? How you feeling about this game, man?
Man, you know what? I'm feeling really good about that game. I'm feeling really good about a whole lot of stuff. There was some positives and there were some negatives, but if I might direct everybody's attention to the Dallas Cowboys and New York Jets game right now, the Jets are up 14-3 on the Cowboys.
What?
And just absolutely making a fool out of these motherfuckers from South Oklahoma right now. So I just got to point that shit out right there just to get fucking started off with.
Okay.
Woo!
Already.
Man.
So I find it. So man, watching this game, I want to know your thoughts, man. What was the biggest play of today, in your opinion?
The biggest play today was the goddamn referees, man. Like, I don't know how you have a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle who just does his job so fucking well that he picks up 2 penalties for blocking downfield. I really don't. Tunsil got flagged twice for just being fucking great, man.
Already. Okay. And I mean, what's the game say to you about? Because we chatted, we texted a little bit back and forth. What is it? What are you thinking about Bill O'Brien right now?
Hey, man. I'm the biggest Bill O'Brien hater that you will run across out there. Like, I've been hoping that man got fired before this season. I was really hoping that we were going to get rid of him and make a run at Shanahan. Unfortunately, the owner decided to get up and kick the bucket and leave everything up in turmoil. And, leave Bill O'Brien in charge of everything. And at the beginning of this season, man, I put it out there on Facebook and Twitter and everything else. I said I will no longer support this franchise. I didn't mean it to say, like, I won't support these players. I won't support Deshaun Watson. Like, there's so much greatness on this roster. But for a team that has continually, over the past, 8 years, played down to other teams, played on everybody else's level, instead of just going out there and making a statement every single Sunday and saying, this is our game, this is the way we play. We've been playing down to opponents, we've had garbage management, we've had all these fucking issues. In that same vein, I will say that I was probably wrong, because Bill O'Brien showed some flashes over the last 2 weeks. I think the Falcons might have actually been the definition of a tune-up game. Would you agree on that one?
Yeah, I think you could say that. I think you could say that. Absolutely.
So maybe building confidence in somebody who should already have confidence in what is this, the 5th year of the Bill O'Brien era?
Year 6.
We're on 5 or 6 now.
Year 6. This is year 6.
Year 6, man. So somebody who's had it for 6 years, had his way, had everything to do with the inner and outer workings of this entire football team, maybe, just maybe, I might cut that motherfucker some slack, but that's going to come next week against the Colts.
Okay. So what is this now?
Because the Colts ain't slouches, man.
No, they're not. And you mentioned the Colts, and so that's what I was going to say. Well, what does that say to you about the current state of the AFC South? Because what happened is Luck fell off, or he retired. They were like, oh, it's a wrap. Foles taps out. I forgot who the Jags had today. I think they had the Saints today. But you see the Colts go in there and they beat the Chiefs, and then we go and beat the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are supposed to be, it's supposed to be them and the Patriots, the upper echelon of the AFC. But you have 2 teams from the AFC South, and people are trying to say, back to the worst division. And they go and beat one of the premier teams in the league. Is that saying more about the division? Or is it saying more about the Chiefs as a team?
After the Super Bowl, where the Eagles won 2 years ago, we had this on the live stream because I got a long memory. I'm pretty good with this shit. I said, does the Lombardi Trophy run through the AFC South? I might have said that about a year too early, but I will change up my call on that one a little bit. I will say, does the AFC South disrupt the rest of the AFC enough to allow the Texans to come out on top? And what I mean by that is Jacksonville has a great defense. They always get in these really dirty, slugged out defensive battles. Very low scoring affairs. Marcus Mariota has probably 3 games every single season where he just defies expectations and does some fucking, instead of the Marcus Mariota that we see where he gets hurt the week before he plays the Texans, I'm going to throw some shade right there, and he just has the highest QBR in the league for that year, or for that week, and then they outclass somebody by 1 touchdown, and then the media just goes fucking nuts for the Titans. You have the Jags defense winning shit for him. You have Mariota having a couple of great games every year, and then we used to have Andrew Luck. Now we have Jacoby Brissett, still a really good starting caliber quarterback for the league, especially behind that offensive line and with the defense that he has.
Yeah.
So I won't say that what I was talking about after the Eagles won the Lombardi Trophy, the trophy doesn't go through the AFC South. The AFC South is kind of like, if you're playing a team from the AFC South, the Lombardi is yours to lose. It depends on what team shows up that week. So the AFC South are now the disruptors of the NFL, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay.
So that's where I would land on that one.
So today was the first meeting of the Watson versus Mahomes era that a lot of people in hype. They've been saying everybody versus Mahomes is going to be the next. They tried to give Lamar Jackson. He had 2 good games, and they swore, "Oh, this is the new Brady versus Manning." I think this Watson versus Mahomes is a new Brady versus. Of course, not the same style of quarterback play, but when you're talking about 2 solid quarterbacks going up against each other, Watson walks away with the win. Do you think this is going to? Who do you think is going to be the one that has the overall advantage in the long run? When we're looking at the end of their careers, who do you think has more wins versus each other, Watson or Mahomes?
That would be the question of who has the shiniest games week in and week out versus who has the tenacity. Patrick Mahomes is laser deadly accurate. I'm not going to give him excuses for the ankle injury, but week in, week out, that boy turns in a performance where he makes some throws. You talk about playing inside leverage, playing the outside shoulder throw. When Mahomes throws an outside shoulder throw, that shit from 50 yards away is right there on that motherfucker's right shoulder pad when he turns to make that catch. So it's, who was it? Oh, Brett Favre is the backyard football guy, and who was the other one during that big era? Brett Favre is the guy that's more fun to watch, and who was the one that was more clinical and just absolutely fucking made shit happen because of his accuracy? I can't remember the motherfucker's name right now.
Who am I thinking about? I'm not.
It's not a Brady versus Manning thing. It is a Favre versus who the fuck else was that? Because you had Favre drawing up all the backyard plays and just making shit happen because he knew the game of football inside and out. Like, that was his heart and soul. Patrick Mahomes, as much as a media face that he puts on, Patrick Mahomes is very cold and calculated when he hits the field, and Deshaun Watson is very explosive and fun to watch. When you see Mahomes take a snap and drop back, you automatically know, like, hey, man, this guy's going to make the right throw for the right reasons. When Watson takes a snap and drops back, you're like, God damn, look at this. How much fun are we about to have? And I can't remember the fucking other quarterback during the Favre era.
Is it we talking about Warner?
I remember it like 3 days from now.
Is it
Yes, Kurt Warner, dude. So fucking accurate,
Yeah,
so
he was
good at
accurate,
what he
shit.
does, but just like not like there's no soul there. So it's all the heart versus all the soul. And that's going to be the Watson versus Mahomes era for about the next decade. Well, actually, probably about 15 years, the way they protect quarterbacks now. I would say if they were exchanging blows outside of the AFC Championship, no wild card, no nothing like that, I'd say over the next 15 years, they're going to play each other 3 times. We already took 1 right now. I'd say Watson's going to best him by 1.
Okay. So you think it'll remain relatively close, but Watson will have the upper hand?
Watson will have the upper hand in the long run, and he will overcome Mahomes in some of the greatest offensive battles that you've ever seen. But it's going to be a trade-off. It's going to be a Rochambeau between the 2 of those. And that's just out of respect for Patty Mahomes. I'm not saying that Watson's not going to do great things, but any time, any place, a game can come uncorked off of 3 key plays in an entire game. That's where I see the 2 of those going, and it will go down in history as a really great quarterback battle.
Okay. All right. Anything else that's on your mind, man? Anything else you wanna share with Sauce Nation?
Fairbairn and Fuller, their names both start with F, and they both get an F for grade on today's performance.
That's funny. I agree with that 100%. You know, Fuller was a completely different guy last week. I mean, I'm glad he did what he did last week, but this week, not quite looking the same. Had the same opportunities, just wasn't quite looking the same. And Fairbairn has shown multiple weeks in a row that it's not. You know, I know people are talking about Anger being the holder now that Trevor Daniel's not there. Well, I think the Texans have to think about that trade-off that they got. You know, you have a better punter, but now you're missing the moments where it counts, which is extra points. You're missing field goals, things like that. You know, what is more worthwhile? You know, special teams field position or points. You know, so I think that's something they definitely gotta go to the drawing board and think about.
Well, that was the difference today between us coming away with a win. I won't say by the skin of our teeth, because if you look at the possession time, we did exactly what we needed to do, right? Yeah. There were 2 interceptions by Watson. However, Watson had that little flame where he was just like, hey, man, I fucked up. I'm going to put that team on my back, and I'm going to run it in twice. Exactly. I'm going to get you those fucking points back. Yeah. So, in closing, this was the first in like 4 statement games that the Texans are going to have this year. The first was the Chiefs. The second one comes against the Colts. Then we have round 2 with the Jags. Jags are a nasty defense, and I already said it, the AFC South just want to disrupt everything, even if it's against somebody else in the AFC South, man. They ain't going to have a winning year, but if they can fuck up somebody else's playoff positioning, they are more than happy to do it, and they will play that nitty-gritty fucking bad game. So you got Chiefs, Colts, Jags, then the Pats. That is our 4 games for the year that we must win to take the top. If we win all 4 of those games, we're already 1 out of 4. If we win all 4 of those games, we will hoist the Lombardi this year. That's my prediction. Okay.
Well, that's a bet. I can't. I think too. I think that you got to. If you go in and you win these statement games, and if you can go ahead and have a quality, if Bill O'Brien can show that he can overcome some humps that traditionally he has suffered from, I'll say I'll definitely have a much different statement about Bill O'Brien. Right now, I'm just going to kind of stick with it. There's a kicker named Destroying, so we have a punter named Anger and another kicker named Destroying. That would be very interesting.
Hey, man, I appreciate the time. Hey, shout out to all the ingredients of the sauce, because y'all are great. And what I want to see next week, win or lose, we had really high numbers in here. Do not abandon your team whenever we lose. Do not get fucking shady. Don't get fucking shysty. Bring your ass in here next week with the same energy so we can make some motherfucking excuses.
Exactly. I already know, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Thing. Shout out to Man Things, man. I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the call, man.
Hey, man, thanks for letting me go for a long time.
No, you're all good, man. It's always good to hear from you.
All right, later, bro.
All right. Shout out to Man Thing, man. It's always good to hear from Man Thing, man. Like you said, bring y'all asses in here next week. Don't be hopping in and out, y'all. Y'all be want to pull up like certain suspect, questionable, culprit individuals. Y'all want to pull up when the wins are good. See, I said good things, and when it's bad, when you lose, you don't see motherfuckers from us. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the sauce line this afternoon?
Hey, this is Mac, man. Malcolm is my screen name.
Okay. Malcolm, what's on your mind, man?
Hey, what's up here, Honcho, man? I appreciate you accepting my call. I'm a diehard Houston Texans, Houston Rockets, Houston Astros fan. I've been watching your show for a while.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I'm down here in Galveston, Texas. But I just wanted to say the most important play of the game to me was when the Texans had 4th and 1, and they was aggressive enough to go for it. And then when they had another, I want to say another play, like a 4th down, I believe they went for it. And then also, when they knew that Fairbairn had been missing, all the kicks, for that pass to go to DeAndre Hopkins. And then we took the victory formation. I think that those were the most crucial parts in the game. The turnover was key, but just to see the fact that Bill O'Brien had some nuts for a change and had faith in the team, and we was aggressive, and we decided to go for it. And it changed the complexion of the game because we got to remember Deshaun Watson was a winner before he came here. So you putting a new culture on a guy that ain't used to losing and that don't want to lose. And when you have a bad performance, stay out there and take the extra reps. And I believe that the team is behind him. They have a positive mindset right now. No sacks again for the second game. Also, it's just like everybody's more confident. I didn't see Jonathan Joseph out there today, and I was glad because, I know he's a veteran. I know he's smart, but we didn't have to worry about him getting burned. And Travis Kelce, he normally kills us. He didn't get to kill us today. I know Mahomes was a little banged up. They had Tyreek Hill. We're going to tell Reed he need to get a little bit more leap. He need to work on his calves, man. That ball sailed straight through his hand. You know what I mean? For that first touchdown. So that's 7 points you could take off the board. But my hat's off to him, and I got to give B.O.B. some props because I'm a B.O.B. hater too. Yeah. But I don't know what happened in the last two games. Maybe he realized he's been in jeopardy of losing his job this time. But in Deshaun, he took what the defense gave him. He held the ball. He seen an open man. He threw it to him. He didn't. He took some shots downfield, and Will Fuller dropped them like he used to. But the fact of the matter is, he took what the defense gave him, and he just, as the guy from Kansas City used to say, he matriculated the ball down the field. He just dink and dunk and pass and run. But we steady moving the ball. We're wearing their defense down. They don't have a defense anyway. And the defense that they did have, Honey Badger getting mad, trying to take cheap shots. Yeah. You should have stayed where you was at, sucker. Mm-hmm. But you wanted the lead to go play for Andy Reid and the Chiefs. And we beat you in your own house. Mm-hmm. So but we have a habit of playing up to the competition and playing down to the competition. To me, the Colts, we haven't beat Jacoby Brissett. I know that, even when he played for the Patriots. But to me, our test is against Tom Brady. If we could beat the Patriots, if we could get that gorilla off our back and beat them, then I don't think anybody else has that emotional hold over us. We've never beat New England, whether we play them up there or we play them down here. I think the last time we beat them, I was at the game and D'Amico Ryans played for us. If I ain't mistaken, and Wes Welker tore his ACL or something like that. I mean, that's how long ago that I remember us beating them.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I think when the last time we played, when did the situation? I don't even think they really needed a game or something like that.
They didn't. They didn't need that game, and that was our first, either our first 800, our first 500 season, or our first winning season. Whatever. We didn't go to the playoffs, but we won the game, I think, and everybody celebrated. And then, we traded them to Philadelphia and kept Brian juiced up cushion, and but
So you mentioned something. You mentioned something, man, and this is something that I've said has been my issue with this franchise on every level, not just the play calling, but as far as the way they operate in free agency, the draft, just from the front office. I mean, down to I think it trickles down to the field. And you said aggressiveness, and we saw a different level of aggressiveness from Bill O'Brien. Even though I thought that was the dumbest fucking play that he could have made late in the first half when he needed that 1 yard. And he went deep, I think, to Fuller. And instead of just going to get that 1 yard, he was showing that he was still trying to be aggressive. Any other time, we actually saw Andy Reid pull the Bill O'Brien, because I think late in the fourth when he was like a 2nd and 12 or 3rd and 14 something, or 2nd and 14 they had, and he ended up running like a little draw, some little run play and getting 2 or 3 yards. Usually we see Bill O'Brien do some shit like that. And so, but this level of aggression that we've seen the last 2 weeks, do you really think something has changed in Bill O'Brien, or he's just seeing some weaknesses in these defenses that he's like, well, I'll play this way for these games, but I'm going to go back to what works for me or what usually does me in the future?
Well, here, this is what I'm going to say. This is the big question. Now, I'm going to go back a minute. Now, you know how quarterbacks call audibles, right? Omaha and all the keywords. And I remember when Matt Shaw played for us, I don't ever remember him calling one. I know that's a while back. But I don't know if is he calling audibles or not, because you see it's like he was running like a variation of the option a little bit, you know, and it was like when he run over there to that left side, you know he got big tussle over there. He got more time when he ran over there. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times it looked like he almost shovel pass, or you know, it's like he'll go over there and see what he got. Oh man, I can give it to the running back, or I could throw it through the tight end. I know they're gonna get 4-5 yards. You know, it just, I don't know. It just seemed like they ran some plays that looked more like, I guess, like his college offense or something. They didn't look like some of the traditional plays that I see them normally make. You know, but they still was getting positive yards out of them. They just little small, little dink and dunks. I kind of thought about when Tom Brady, back in the day when they didn't have no running game, and they was notorious for throwing them little 4-yard passes, 5-yard passes. Just keep moving the chain. And then when you get a strike, go deep. But Will Fuller couldn't catch him. I don't know what happened.
Man.
You know, I don't know what happened.
It's a tough situation. Like I say, yeah, he looked like rookie Will today. He just, I don't know what was going on with Fuller, because he had so many opportunities. And again, he went back to this. I would say even a little bit last year, and kind of you start seeing Will develop his hands. You start seeing him catching passes. But today you saw him with that, looking like he's doing that cradle catching shit, and that shit went straight through his fucking hands, and he missing dropping passes and shit. You know, but I think Will be all right. He just had a. I'm hoping he just had a bad one.
I think that he might be subconsciously worried about his knee. Mm-hmm. You know, because he was mentioning about how it gets stiff and everything. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, he might be his speed might be not a little bit off than what it was. Because I remember he caught the ball last week, and I was looking at him to just dust the dude, and the dude caught him. You know what I mean? So maybe he's a step slower than he used to be. Just a step. You know, maybe they had something to do with him judging the ball, because he had improved his hands, like you said, and now it's like he's back at square one. Like, you know, if you don't hand the ball off to him, he ain't gonna, you know, he can't catch it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I'm proud of him. But like you said, they didn't bring in anybody to kick against Fab, whatever, I can't say his name right. But I'm wondering, like you said, if when they got rid of the last kicker and he was his holder, how much is that affecting his kicks? But his kick is off, because you notice when he missed the ball, I guess wide right or wide left, whichever way it was. Remember how he moved the ball over some to compensate? You know what I mean? So he know that he's not kicking the way he normally does. So he's like, man, well, I'm pulling it to the left. Let me move it to the right a little bit. You know, them adjustments you should have made before the game when you was out there practicing.
Exactly.
Not during the game when it counts. So he got to bring somebody else in, man, because that dude. How many points is he gonna cost us? You know what I'm saying?
See, it's enough. We don't need no more. He already cost enough. You know, like I say, shit. You need somebody.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know, you got to bring somebody. I mean, at least give him the impression that you're willing to cut him. Now I know they just gave him a little deal. Was it earlier this year? Or was it last year? I can't remember when they just gave him a little deal. But you know, you got to give him the impression that, hey, we want to let go. Like I say, Bill O'Brien has shown that he's been much more aggressive as far as, you know, cutting guys and doing some other things. He has to be letting known. We'll do you just like we did Colvin. You know, we'll cut you and fucking bring somebody else in. You know, we'll find somebody who'll make the kicks.
But what personal ties do we have to them? You remember how you talked about it's hard for people to cut their guys, like guys they bring into the organization versus guys that were already here. You know, I mean, you've been letting people go out, you know what I'm saying, all every game. I was like, damn, who's going to get fired this game? You know, who's going to get cut this game? And this guy's here. And I know the teammates probably put him in the locker and whoop him. You know what I mean? If they had a loss, think about this. If they had a loss because this fool missed 2 extra points and a 3-point field goal, what's the possibility of them catching him, throwing him in the locker, beating him up with socks full of soap, and telling him he better not tell nobody? We know where you live. We know where you stay. We will break your leg. You will never play again. Now miss another one. We're going to make you arm wrestle JJ next time you miss one.
Man, what?
You know.
I'm laughing because this just reminds me of some high school shit, but that's funny as shit.
Hey, man. You know people get, you know things happening in the NFL, man. Come on, that's why our boy caught out of Miami, because he couldn't have Crazy Richie Incognito. You know, hey man, You know a locker room have a way of disciplining itself. It's a lead in there. It's a code in there. It's things that happen in there that we'll never hear about until after the player's career is over. You know that for a fact. Miss another kick, see what happens.
I agree.
You know what I mean? You know, but that's all I wanted to say, man. I appreciate you taking my call, man. I'm a fan of South Sports, man. I'm going to keep on watching, man.
All right, you said Malcolm, right?
Yeah, they call me DJ Big Mac.
DJ Big Mac. Well, I appreciate you calling me, man. It's good to hear from you. Hope to hear from you soon, man.
All right, later.
All right, have a good one. Ready. Let me see what time we got here. We're gonna probably be winding down short, so I'm gonna make a call. Y'all know I gotta make a call. Let me see if this nigga picked the phone. You know how this guy, how he acts. What do you mean? I ain't put it in my account. I guess I gotta put it in the team section. All right, we'll do it like this. I gotta make a call. You know, if you ball, you get the call. You know, but this ain't that kind of call. This is a Honcho call. You want the call from Dion. You don't really want the call from Honcho. You don't want that call. You gonna hang up on that nigga if you call. Let me see something here. Let me see where we at. All right, there we go. Gotta check the book. Like I said, we'll make this the last call today, so we're gonna make it a good one, a real good one. Some old, we're gonna do like crank anchors.
What up, though?
What's the motherfucking deal, man? First, let the people know who may not know. Who are we speaking with this afternoon?
This is Professor Trill. What's up, Honcho?
What's up, Professor Trill? What's on your mind, man? You said I should give you a call. We have some things to discuss about the Houston Texans and what they got going on.
Well, first and foremost, I have to go and eat my crow. I was wrong about the score. The Texans scored a lot more than I thought they would, and the Chiefs scored a lot less than I thought they would. I was wrong, period. I can't make no excuses for it. I whiffed on this one. But, goddamn, you know I got to come back with something. I appreciate Wink's energy when he first came on. Now, I wasn't sure if you was taking the jab at your boy, so I'm going to let you make it. Because the first thing you mentioned was my crack pipe phrase. So, I'm going to let you make it, Wink, because you never clarified if you was shooting the slug at me. So, I'm going to let you make it. But at the same time, I can guarantee you none of you motherfuckers had that same energy after our first offensive play.
Oh, no, hell no.
I can guarantee it. I did. I was like, this shit again. I was already like, motherfucker, really? I thought it was going to be bad. Second of all, y'all got to stop it with the Will Fuller shit. Look, I get he dropped the touchdown pass. But in case y'all don't know, I'm going to educate you real quick. The hardest pass for a receiver to catch is an over-the-shoulder catch. Because you got to catch it, you got to look at it at the last second. Look, he missed it, man. Hopkins missed the catch to hit him in the hand.
Yes.
Y'all said nothing.
Yes.
That was a touchdown, too. Will Fuller dropped one over the shoulder. That's a much more difficult catch. So you got to give the boy some slack. Like, come on now. That's not an easy catch to make, period. Second of all, this is the biggest take I have. This game was completely uncharacteristic of Bill O'Brien.
Exactly.
And y'all know it because y'all pointed it out. If we had the same Bill O'Brien, I would have more than likely been right. And my whole point this whole time I've been saying, look, I love Deshaun. I like our talent. I don't trust Bill O'Brien. I just don't. I've been saying that for weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, today he looked as if he could be trusted, but I still don't trust him. He had some good dope this week. That's all I'm going to say about that.
He put out the new testers. You know what I'm saying? So,
he He has some good dope. And I tried to send another message in before you end the stream, but I didn't catch it in time because I had another comment to say. And when Wink was talking about J-Jo being out was a problem, and I was like, yes, but there's 2 silver linings to that problem. And they both worked out very well in our favor. And I'm going to mention J-Jo again at the end of this. Number 1, we actually had the speed to keep up with the receivers. Because we know every other corner we got is faster than J-Jo. Now, we going to lose leadership and awareness with J-Jo not being on the field. That's a given, so I'll give you that. But the speed helped because Kansas City got one of the fastest receiver corps in the league, if not the fastest. Maybe, just a little bit faster than ours when they all healthy. The second thing, which was the most important thing, we actually got to understand this whole time, has it been J-Jo or has it been Romeo Cornell with the cushion he been given? Now, let me explain this to y'all. We were playing against the fastest guy in the league, in Tyreek Hill. We didn't get that man no cushion. I want y'all to understand that. We've been playing everybody else. J-Jo been giving them boys cushion. This was the fastest nigga in the league, and he got no cushion. They played up on the line all game long. Nobody was backing off 8 to 10 yards. Not even the newest guy. He was not giving that cushion. It ain't been Rack. It's been J-Jo. That just solidified it because it don't make no sense. The person you would give cushion to is the fastest person in the league, not everybody else. So it's J-Jo is the problem. Jonathan Joseph is the defensive Lamar Miller.
Don't start.
Fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck him. Look, I know y'all not going to like it. I really don't like it either, but I'm telling you, he holding us back. That was obviously clear today to me. I don't know how clear it is to y'all, but it was clear to me. I watched the game. I actually got to see every play except for a few plays in the second quarter. But I watched the whole game. I'm telling y'all, y'all ain't said shit about Lamar Miller since he been gone. And if J-Jo stay out, y'all not going to miss him either. That's just how I feel. All right. Next one. Even though I was wrong about this game, there's still some places where I have been correct. Now, Wink and I had a discussion, and he sent me a video of Charles Omenihu about a guy basically just destroying him. He just put him on blast, showing what he can and can't do and all this other stuff. And I told Wink, yeah, I seen it on video. The guy was right and you was right. I said, but it's still something about this dude. I just can't put my finger on it. I think he got something. I didn't see it in that film, but for some reason, I still feel like he got something. There's something about him that's gonna prove good. And it seemed like every other game, this dude make a play. And who was used to be the one making that play? J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt ain't been doing shit. It's been Omenihu. Not the $100 million man. So, and I appreciate Wink because he did put some respect on the man's name earlier. So, that's all I was asking, Wink. We good. Broderick. Good call, man. I can't argue with you this time because the Texans showed and proved otherwise today, even though that's not very common for them to do. But I will combat you a little bit. I think you need to slow your roll on the O-line being the top 5. Now, I understand they was number 8, and now you say they should move up. Who you go against matters. It's like a boxer. Who you fight matters. It matters. We ain't really been playing teams with a good pass rush, and the 2 teams we did play with a good pass rush, we gave up 6 sacks both times. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that they won't be. I'm just saying you might want to slow your roll just a little bit. Ain't nobody scared of the Chiefs pass rush. Ain't nobody scared of the Falcons pass rush. So just pump the brakes a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Now for my coup de grace. And you fall into this too, Honcho.
Okay.
There shall be no more cupping of Jadeveon Clowney's balls. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. If you have the wherewithal to condemn Honey Badger, you got to hold Jadeveon just as accountable because they did the same thing.
No way.
Neither one of them wanted to sign what the Texans were offering them. So they end up going somewhere else. Now, they went under different methods, but it's still the same shit. They wanted more money than the team was offering them.
But here's the deal, though. One of them had a choice.
No deal.
They one had a choice.
There ain't no deal.
And
no,
the other was told basically,
sir.
don't come in. The other was basically told there was there was a difference, and this is why. Because Honey Badger had a choice, you got nothing back really from that. Even if in the interview that he did recently, I think this last week, Clowney said that he was expecting to come back and play for Houston. So there's a thing as far as I think there's a difference having a willingness to still play for the team. He was going to get paid. I'm sure he wanted a guarantee or whatever else it was going to be. But
Honey Badger didn't want to stay here.
I can't say that because if he did, then that's when
yes,
you have.
He did. He said he did.
That's when you have a choice of finance. He had choices. Okay.
And
Houston,
so did Jadeveon.
no, Houston
chose to sign.
Houston was in control of that, and he was coming back to sign it. What did he say? About 2 weeks before the season started, or 2 weeks into camp, or whatever. Basically, Bill O'Brien told him not to come in because he was going to get traded. That's what he said. So he said
the Texans refused to sign him at the price he was asking.
But it doesn't matter. He was already under the franchise tag. So he was but he was going to come. It's not like a Le'Veon situation where he wasn't going to play under the franchise tag. Then I could say, okay, now he's trying to hold out. Now he's doing something a little bit. He was going to come in and play. So he figured he was just going to take his future, his training, whatever in his own hands. I'm going to come in and play under the tag and see what Bill O'Brien did.
And who stopped Honey Badger from coming in and signing the contract?
Nobody.
Why is that?
Because Honey Badger hit free agency. So if he wanted to be with the Texans, he would say, okay, I'd take a little bit less money. To him, it was about the money. It wasn't, like I said.
And if Jadeveon wanted to play for the Texans, he would have signed, right?
He was coming in to sign. He had no choice. He didn't have that leverage anyway to sign.
Before that, Honcho.
But what I'm saying is they still had control. He didn't hit the free market. I think there's a difference when you have the opportunity to hit the free market and do what you do.
The Texans had control either way.
How so?
They said to both players, I don't think you're worth what you're asking.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, though. Like I said, because they went up and they offered.
The only difference is they changed their mind on Clowney.
Okay.
That's the only difference.
But what I'm saying is I think there's a difference between what I felt is a personal issue versus a financial issue. I think the Bill O'Brien and Clowney situation was a personal issue, and the Honey Badger situation was a financial issue.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. I can't argue with you on that one. But at the same time, they were both available. They were both right there with the Texans uniform, name and everything, ready to sign on the dotted line. The Texans didn't want to agree to those contracts. Just like the Texans offered them a contract, they offered the Texans a contract. Same shit. The Texans just refused to sign.
And then another thing, too, is that Clowney actually put in work for the Texans. Honey Badger came in for a year, took a little vacation, hung out here, made a little halfway name. He ain't really solidified himself in a Texan situation. Clowney was drafted. He put in some work, and then, Honey Badger was like, he was a mercenary. He came in, did a little dirt and then slid out. So that's why I think those are different situations to compare the way you approach those two players as far as having the conversation as far as, with contracts, Texans relationship, and all that other stuff. So I think it's two different situations.
I agree with that. The reason and the method that they were brought in, it was different. But the Texans had the opportunity to retain both players. Both of them. And they chose not to. Now, the question is, from here on, what do we do now? Is we going to pull these same shenanigans on the guys that's playing good, that's playing well now? Are we finna pull the same shit on them and let them walk, knowing that we don't have no good high draft capital to get players to replace them?
If they smart, they better.
And we don't do good in. Don't say that. Go ahead.
If they smart, they better throw offer at Roby now before it gets much longer.
That's the if shit, Honcho.
But again, that's what I'm saying. So we don't know where they are. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know how much. You already have a significant portion of the future has been leveraged. And even in the deals that he has done successfully, While I like the players that have resulted in these offers, I still feel like Bill O'Brien has gotten hosed as far as I won't say compensation, but basically as far as capital. Because I mean, think about it. You used to get that O-line right. I'm not knocking it. It is what it is. You basically used 3 firsts and 2 second rounders to get the offensive line right, and it looks significantly better. It took a little bit to get some things going, but it looks significantly better, and you're actually using the pieces that you went out and got that capital for. But you better hope that you can keep all the other pieces you have, because if not, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to fulfill other holes that you're going to have in the near future.
Yes.
So, I mean, it is.
I agree with you. I just don't want and Roby, he played a good game today. He played a hell of a game today, but I can't say I'm sold on him. Because today, and even Lonnie Johnson, they actually played the ball today. Mm-hmm. I got to give them a whole bunch of credit for that. They made plays on the ball, and they haven't been doing that. So was it just because of the hype that Kansas City had, or will this be a reoccurring theme? That's the biggest question of today, and that goes for Bill O'Brien, Romeo Crennel, all of them. Is this what the Texans are, or are they going to revert back to the same old shit we've been seeing? That's what I need to know. Was this just a flash in the pan? Because if it is, it's going to be thoroughly disappointing. And the Texans fans is going to turn into Cowboys fans. I'm telling you.
Man, it's a lot. I'm going to say something. A lot of y'all not going to like it. All right? The shout out to man thinks, again, because like I say, hey, look, now that we have the upper hand, now we can kind of talk shit. Now it makes sense. But there was a point where the Cowboys had a better record than us. And Texans fans were talking shit. And I'm like, why? Are you not realizing that? Yes, we hate the team from up 45. I understand. I get it. But when you're looking at the grand scheme of things, they're in a better position than us. And so that's what I be trying to tell you. Hold off on the shit talk when, it's like shit talking to motherfucker that's going to beat your motherfucking ass. Yeah, you can talk all that shit. And I'm not saying the Cowboys could beat us. We played last. But I'm just saying the person who's in a better position than you just talking shit because it makes you look like you're mad because you're not in the position that they in. Now that things have turned, now that they start playing some teams and we all see that everybody knows they are what they are, and they're trash, you can start talking some shit. Now the record looks good. Now you can rub a little salt in the wound because you have the upper hand. Now you can say, well, record, scoreboard. You know how niggas used to be, they be mad, they be talking shit in the game, but you winning. Hey, you can point to the scoreboard. You have that in your favor. But when you just hating on the Cowboys and they in a better situation in their own respective position than you, sometimes you got to let that shit go. But yeah, man, like I say, it's a lot of things going. But I think with the Roby situation, and why I say that is, that might be your only situation. You got a guy who's already here, and then we know free agents in Houston don't always mesh. This may be your best chance to try to keep somebody who is doing well, in house. Now that he's around. But again, I don't want Bill O'Brien to fuck around and get hosed or make an offer that's too big. You got Watson coming up soon. You got you got to retain Hop soon. You got
Watson contract gonna be fucking monstrous.
It's gonna be ridiculous, especially after they went in there and beat Patrick Mahomes.
what I really do think though, just because of Deshaun's personality, I don't think he's gonna be trying to be the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Man, he better, because
Deshaun just ain't really like that. He ain't never been like that. He gonna get a hefty trust and believe he gonna get more than J.J. Watt. But I don't think he gonna be like, I gotta be the highest paid. Nah, I really don't think that that's Deshaun's personality. It's just not. He gonna want something where he gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? Him, his mom, his family, and all that. And more than likely, he gonna be doing the same thing that Warwick Dunn was doing back when he helped Deshaun and his mom get a house. He probably gonna continue that going on. You know what I'm saying? With all the money he got, he probably gonna do it a little bit bigger than Warwick Dunn.
With a bigger contract, more houses you can build. Get all the money, Deshaun. Get
exactly.
Get all that shit.
Not all of it, man. Not all of it, but man, today was a hell of a win, man. That was a damn good game. Yeah. We played so well. I was surprisingly happy with how things turned out. I ain't really got much to complain about, but I'm just like, don't show me this and then go right back to the same old shit, bro. Don't do that, man. And so, seeing my call, shout out to Tenny. But I always say this. Shout out to Man Cave Sports. Get on my goddamn nerves. Y'all get on my goddamn nerves. I still think y'all a couple of crack addicts. Don't get me wrong. Y'all still hitting that pipe. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. We'll see. We will see.
Well, like I say, man, it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I'm looking forward. This gives me hope because, again, for everybody who's been positive, that's cool, that's fine. But let's be realistic. You have not seen the Texans stringing together these type of wins. You know, a solid blowout and then backdoor and beat a quality team in their home. These are things that are not traditional of the Texans under Bill O'Brien. No. Seeing these things finally now that you can say, okay, hey, well, that has happened. He does have the potential to, instead of saying I'm hoping and wishing and praying maybe. This is different now that you have a foundation to base facts off of and say, well, you know, hey, we went up against a good team and did this, that, and the third. So now this does give me another level of anticipation. I won't just say all the way hope yet. Like I say, string it together 2 or 3 games and see where we end up. But I am in anticipation of, can he keep this going, and can we get, seal a divisional win next week with another solid win. So
and hopefully if everything goes well, I'll be eating crow again next week.
I want all the products. I'm telling you, I want to eat crow. I'm happy about it. When people come and say, well, you said this and said that, it was obviously something negative, and so that means something is going right. So I'm more than happy to eat the fucking crow. Yeah. Bring that shit.
Yeah, I ain't tripping, but my thing is, and here's the thing. I won't get my hopes up until playoff time.
Man.
Because look here, man. Look here. I don't want to be like Peyton Manning and them. Like winning through the regular season, then we get in there and then we embarrass ourselves all over again. Today was a good win. It was an unexpected win. I don't give a shit what y'all say. None of you motherfuckers was thinking we was going to go in and beat them boys like that. None of y'all. So y'all cut the bullshit. But if we can't do it when it really, really counts, what was it all for?
Yeah, I agree. And my thing is, look, and it ain't about just necessarily winning the Super Bowl. I told you, my deal is this. I got to see make it to the AFC South Championship. I'm not even telling you to win that. Like, just set yourself a higher bar. Yeah. That first round exit is over and done with. Like, that is no longer.
I'll be willing to give B.O.B. another year if he do that.
Yeah.
And I want the motherfucker fired now still. I still want to fire him. Even after that, I don't give a shit. I still want to fire him. Trust me, I did not hop off that train. I'm still on that train.
Okay.
But if we get to the AFC Championship, bro, give him another year. See if we could do it again next year. Give him a chance to retool and to keep this momentum going. But if we start back, if this was just like a freak game, man, we gonna be in for a world of hurt, man. I don't want to think like that, but I'm sorry, I got to protect my feelings because I don't want to be all pumped up like Wink, and then next week I don't have that same energy. Okay. So I'm gonna be watching you, Wink, because if we fall next week, I want you to come on here with that same energy. I want you to just run through your door like on the cartoons, leave a whole Wink print just with his hands up through the doorway. I want to see the same energy, Wink. So. Come on, man. Come on, Texas. Come on. Y'all don't let me down now. Y'all gave me a little ray of sunshine. Don't play with me, man.
Greg, I got one quick question for you before we wrap it up, man. Just a quick yes or no on this one. Do you re-sign Carlos Hyde to a longer term deal?
Man, if what I would do, I would have somebody go kneecap Lamar Miller on his other leg and then take his money and give it all to Carlos Hyde. That's what I do.
God, why do you hate Lamar Miller?
Fuck that nigga, the old slow sounding, slow talking. I'm not gonna disrespect the people, so I'm gonna shut up.
Man.
But come on, man, I ain't got no love for that dude. Never have no love for that dude. Come on, y'all got to stop. J. Joe was holding the defense back, obviously. If we can stop them, if our secondary could play that well without him, we don't need him.
That's tough, man.
If they could play up on the receivers the whole game against the fastest receiving team, we don't need him. Put his ass on the bench. Or better yet, fire whoever the fucking secondary coach is and let that nigga have the job. You already paying him? Go ahead and pay him to do that. And nigga could hold the clipboard and put on a headset like the rest of them. Fuck it. You don't need no shoulder pads, bro. That's how I feel. But anyway, if I keep talking, you ain't gonna never end. So I'm out of here. I'm gonna holler at you, Honcho.
Alrighty, man. Appreciate the call to press the trill, and I'll look to see for you in the DN or something like that later on, man.
I'm gonna be there.
I really appreciate the comment.
All right.
All right, that's a wrap, man. Like I said, we're gonna end it on that note. We tend to end it with Professor Trill, aka Jay Dizzle. Look, is that another thing that you and Broderick agree on? Personal feelings about Lamar Miller? That's fucked up, man. Y'all gonna get off my boy. I'm not gonna lie though. It was something that Carlos Hyde did in this game, and it was something super simple, but it worked. It was something super simple that worked. And again, if you're new to this, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're giving you fresh Texan content every day. I know this last week I was off. I had a bunch of shit going on, so we didn't usually do the normal lives at 7 o'clock. But we'll be back on it this week. Try to be live every night at 7 p.m. So make sure you're there. Again, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that fucking bell button so you get the notification. I know some people say they don't get the notifications. They be catching the middle of the stream and shit. But we're going to get back on that. Again, you want that Astros content. If you want that Rockets content, you want that Dynamo content, make sure you subscribe to the second Sauce channel, Sauce Sports TV. That's where we put all the other H-Town sports at. Sauce Sports is primarily the Texans channel. So if you want the rest of that, shout out to Hector, man. Hector's been holding it down for the Dynamo, and Hector's been holding it down for the Astros talk. But the thing that Carlos Hyde did today was just a simple, like, basic. Robbie G, man, it is so good to see you. I'm glad you could fall through, man. It's good to see you, Robbie. It was just a basic move. And he shook the shit out of, I forgot who it was. He shook a couple people today. But he shook the shit out of somebody. Just a basic, small, little move. Just a little hezzy, little head fake. And I thought about Jay Dizzle when he did that. Because let's be honest. Lamar Miller just runs. He has no moves. He has no nothing. And then it was actually a couple of times, I want to say Duke and Hyde both didn't. They stretched it out. They kind of, the hole wasn't there, and they kind of extended the play and took it outside. Miller just takes kind of what's right in front of him. So there are a few things that you see from, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night, so I'm talking crazy part of me. But appreciate that, Carlos, man. Shout out to everybody who became Fresh Ingredients, Mr. Hardy, Brotherhood Vlogs, Corinth, Carlos, and I saw somebody else, but I missed you. I ain't dish you. But man, and it was like I say, and he shook the shit. I'm like, man, that's definitely not in Lamar Miller's toolbox. Like, I think Lamar Miller is just thinking point A to point B. He's not thinking about anything else in between. But with this being Lamar Miller was his contract year, so I don't expect you to see him next year. I wouldn't be surprised. Carlos Hyde seems just rejuvenated in the Texans uniform. I don't know what it is. Duke's looking good. I mean, everybody's looking good. Everybody's eating. Again, so many weapons on this team. There are no excuses. And I saw somebody say that what's his name injury's not that bad. Oh, he was being a big old baby, just wanted to ride the cart, just say he was on the cart. But it's good, man. It's good that he's not hurt long term. Again, like I say, we need some consistency in that line. And if not, I think that's going to be a problem. So hopefully, like I say, he's not out for too long. Stills, I'm assuming Stills will be back next week because he was aiming to try to play today. And so if he was almost close enough to play today, I'm assuming that he should be good to go for next week. So we'll see how that pans out. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody who came through. I appreciate everybody's support. We got to the goal of this stream, so I appreciate that. If you like talking about other things, life, reality, everything but sports, we will be in the den at 10 this evening. So make sure that you slide through for that. We're going to be talking some shit. Oh, tonight we will have Sunday Night Confessions. And I owe y'all something we haven't done in quite some time in the Sunday Night Confessions. So make sure you're in the den for that. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Again, y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. Sincerely, I appreciate it. It is a honor, a privilege, and a pleasure. Shout out to Man Up. Shout out to Wayne. Shout out to Wise. Shout out to Hector. Shout out to Tenny. Shout out to Swisher. Shout out to Ray. Shout out to Spitz. You know, everybody that's out there putting in work. Shout out to Tigers Texans fans. Shout out to Josh Beard. Let me see, make sure I ain't trying to. Shout out to Mr. Mediocre. Shout out to Visionary. Always putting together great highlights. Like I said, these are all places, people that you should be following. A lot of the links are in the description. So if you want to get a hold of those and follow those, it should be easy to do that. Trying to make sure I ain't missing nobody, man. Like I say, if you fuck with the Texans Tubers, if you fuck with just Texans Talk, good content, I'm gonna steer you in the right direction because y'all know me. I'm not hating. I'm not tripping. It's always love. I want to see. I feel like we all root for the same team, so I want to see everybody make it. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all, everybody who called in. Like I said, just everybody all around. Like I said, even if you took a few minutes just to watch, hit that like button or whatever it may be, I sincerely appreciate that. But it's your boy Ed Honcho, man. I'm out. Make sure you follow Sauce Sports on all the proper social media, Sauce Sports HTX on Instagram and Twitter, so that you can get updated and we'll let you know when we are going live. That's the best way to do it, just in case YouTube don't notify. Like the Sauce Sports Facebook page and join the Sauce Sports Facebook group.